Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at some point, um, you're either extinct, you're irrelevant, and you're extinct, or you're playing catch up. And for some of these brands, by the time they realize they need to play catch up, it's actually too late.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that the market can get out in front of them. And I think
Well,
it's
and
it's
that
an
that
interesting.
happened in Europe last year with Thomas Cook,
Yeah.
which had been around for 170 years, I think, and at one point was worth 10 or 15 billion euros. And we talked to them 3 years ago, and they had some enlightened people in the organization, but overall, and I think this comes back to the previous question, the decision-making body, whatever that would have been, the equivalent of the executive committee in most companies, couldn't get clarity on that, and they couldn't get alignment on this. And instead, the debt facility that had to be refinanced probably took priority, as well as a few other things. But along the way, they tended to forget they had 500 stores in the UK where people used to walk into that store, into that travel shop, and book their holiday. That's what you did for years and years. And it's almost as if they didn't realize that this thing called the smartphone has apps that allow you to do that with a few pushes of the button. And we had many ideas for a company like that, and they, just not interested, and they went bankrupt. And these are the kind of things that happen. Hertz announced bankruptcy recently. That was something that was on its way. Again, didn't have to happen. Toys R Us didn't have to happen. Sears, who bought Jet.com? Walmart, right? Jet.com has helped to transform Walmart. And Mark Lohr coming in from Jet.com and running Walmart's e-commerce it's been a total game changer for Walmart as a company over the last 4 years. It's one of my favorite case studies. Just absolutely phenomenal. Doug McMillon is one of my heroes. Similar to Andy Grove, he's who said only the paranoid survive, and success breeds complacency, which can lead to the end of a great success. Doug McMillon said last year that we could go away at any minute. He totally gets it. And they have made many, many acquisitions of tech companies, including Flipkart in India for about $16-17 billion. It's a great example of a company that's doing all the right things. And ultimately, they're doing it for their customer. That's where all this starts, is where's our customer going? What are they going to be buying and why? In food, we haven't really talked about that, but that's the big one. I was talking about Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods about 3.5 years ago when we started all of this. I saw, there's new technology being deployed it's not like the old GMO-based modified foods. This is different. And so it was only last year when Beyond Meat did an IPO and was valued at the time, I think, $3 or $4 billion. Today, it's valued at 8 or 9 billion. Look, it's priced for perfection, but make no mistake, right? Customers are loving this product. Impossible Foods. We have now the Impossible Whopper. We have the whatever McDonald's call it, the veggie burger in McDonald's with Beyond Meat. They're going into grocery stores. They're going to restaurants. People are wanting it, asking for it. When you combine that with the movie Game Changers, right on Netflix, it's come out, where it's about being a vegan is really the way to be for all sorts of reasons. We're talking about billions and billions of dollars changing hands in an industrial way, ecosystem way. And these are major moves that are happening whether you like it or not. And so, the way we operate our business is that companies who get it, who understand it, but they're kind of half interested and they're going to follow it, we don't work with. I mean, there's really nothing we can do to help them because their mindset is not where it needs to be. But those companies that see it and they get it and they want it and they want to take advantage of it, we will work with them all day long and they will be successful because they've got the mindset of we can do this as well as anyone else. And what's interesting is most of these established companies have succeeded in the past. They are where they are for a reason. And so over the last 20, 30, 40 years, it was relatively easy to remain in a leadership position, relatively easy, because you just had to block and tackle. But today, you've got to do more than block and tackle to be able to win because you've got these tech disruptors, these unicorns, as we call them, private companies valued over $1 billion, that have gone from about 20 or 30, 8 or 9 years ago to 500 of them today. And together they're worth $1.5 trillion. And you may say, well, that doesn't determine success and it's just a lot of money raised. And, so what? They raised a lot of money. Well, there's a reason why they've raised a lot of money. And it's not another dot-com boom. I mean, yes, there's a boom. Yes, there's some possibly some overpricing there, but the value is there, and there's huge value, and it's just continuing to grow. So these unicorns themselves are growing in value, and they're taking market share. And guess what? These unicorns are formed by driven entrepreneurs who are hungry for success, and frankly they want to kill. They want your customers. They want to win. They want to be the next Amazon, the next Google, and Facebook. And if you as a corporate don't believe that they're coming after you, it's going to be ugly. And I think we're going to get to the point soon, and this pandemic is what woken some people up. I think we'll get to the point where more corporates are realizing, we're going to have a problem here. We're starting to lose share. We're losing. I mean, last year, I think it was September, October, the institutional shareholders of Kraft Heinz publicly said, just before the annual general meeting, that they weren't too happy with management not adapting to plant-based protein. Again, it was the Beyond Meat IPO and the drop in Kraft Heinz share price. And they publicly stated, look, we're not too happy with the way things are going. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that.